After queer theory, a new scale of identity is added. The theorists who support non-heterosexual categories, social categories, they think that sexual identity is separate from gender identity. They have got support from philosophers like Derrida. According to them, we cannot understand gender, we cannot understand heterosexuality unless we accept and recognize non-heterosexuality. So it means these people, as we mentioned earlier, they have added one more social identity other than gender identity. We have already called it fourth identity. So now one identity in this current topic is gender identity and the other is sexual identity. By gender identity we mean male and female. By sexual identity we mean heterosexual, non-heterosexual, or cisgender and transgender. Okay. Two scales of identity with reference to sex. If we, for the moment, accept queer theory and their views and their philosophical arguments, etc., one impact, now we will see the impact, the effects of this theory on society and culture. One impact of queer theory is to eliminate boundaries between gender and sexuality. We have already discussed that Butler does not recognize boundary between our biological sex and our cultural gender. Second, queers are against cisness and straightness. These are two other terms. Queers, they are against cisness, cisgender. People whose biological identity and their social identity is the same. They are born male and they remain male. They are born female, they remain female. So they are cisgenders. And from this we have got this term cisness. And straightness, these are people who maintain their sexual relations only with one sex, opposite sex. We call them straight, and from it we have got straightness. So sometimes we also use straightness and this cisness as opposite of queers. So those who are not cis and straight, they are called queer. Okay. The queer theorists and their community, they focus on visible behavior. One of the tools is cross-dressing. One of the tools of spreading their views through behavior, through visible behavior, is cross-dressing. What is cross-dressing? Males started when this movement spread, when this theory spread, its influence spread. So what was the result? Males started wearing drags. Drags, they are clothes of women. And women started wearing dresses of males. This is called cross-dressing. The other tool to spread their sexual identity views is new vocabulary. Some of the words I have introduced during these modules, all other words couldn't be shared with you because their meaning cannot be publicly shared, publicly discussed. They have introduced whole set of new terminology and vocabulary to convey, to communicate their points of view, especially among their own groups, not with general public. They use this vocabulary only within their own specific groups. And this vocabulary, if you study it, it fuses gender and sexuality with each other. Even there are new pronouns. We know traditional pronouns, they maintain difference between male and female. They have invented new pronouns which don't maintain any difference of male and female. These pronouns are agender, as we have asymmetric, agender, not based on gender, A for not. This is what we have discussed earlier, that English pronouns favor het identity, and Butler had criticized it. If you remember, in one module, I discussed these things. She says that language forces heterosexuality on us through pronouns. For males, we will always use he. For females, we will always use she or her, etc. We are bound by language. So, language does not allow us to use he for females and she for males. Okay. Queers, those people who are not cis or het, they take plea from neutral pronouns. Now see, in language, third person pronouns, he, she, they are gender based. But there are other pronouns in traditional pronouns of English which are gender neutral. Like I and we can be used for both sexes. They can be used for both sexes. You can be used for both sexes. So from this they get plea. They justify that, okay, we can invent such other pronouns which are neutral, which are gender neutral. So we have introduced new pronouns. This is the table of traditional pronouns. You all are familiar with them. I won't repeat this table. He, she, it, they, and there are examples of the usage of these pronouns. Here are new pronouns. They are introduced and invented by queer people. Now look, for he, ze, and this is she. So the first word is here she, and for it they have ze, and similarly there is he, and here they have ze, and so on. These are the new pronouns which they use for both he and she. They neutralize the pronouns. So here are examples. You can study this table from your material, from your reader, the book that will be provided to you. So what I wanted to show was that they have introduced a parallel set of pronouns to neutralize them from sex. Then a new vocabulary is invented to avoid. Why new vocabulary is invented? To avoid social stigma. Okay. And to hide queerness. They don't want to show their sexual identity to general public. They know the reaction. The reaction is bad. Okay. For example, they have introduced such words like drag queen. So this is for queer men. And drag king, this is for queer woman. Now see the term king for woman and queen for men. Such kind of words have been introduced by these people. So if you want to know more such words which these people have introduced to hide themselves, to protect themselves from public reaction, so you can download this dictionary. In this dictionary you will find many such terms for your awareness, so that whenever people talk about them, they want to convince them to follow such kind of nonsense theory. You should be aware of that. So for your awareness, I have suggested that you consult this dictionary. So we conclude that queerness and queer categories have not been clearly defined so far. No clear definition. They have deliberately maintained confusion because they want to protect themselves. They want to hide their identity. Different terms are used in different contexts for different purposes. To maintain, first of all, invisibility. Whatever they are doing, they want to conceal it, hide it from public. And second, sometimes they use different terminology for political benefits. They show themselves as minority, marginalized group of society. So they talk about human rights and so on. So in different contexts for different purposes, they use different words. So that's why you won't find any clear-cut definition of many of the terms which are used to explain, discuss queerness or queer theory or queer people. If you want to know what is queer theory and what are the ideas of these people, by the people in whose country this theory was introduced, launched and promoted and being spread all across the world. If you want to know that, please go to this link and you will find a live talk by a college teacher and see how that teacher explains everything about this.